This coming Saturday, we have got Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, defending his WBC heavyweight title against Luis King Kong Ortiz in a fight that you'd have to say is at least kind of 60-40. It's going to be certainly the best opponent Wilder has faced so far, and the first decent opponent since he wrested the title away from Bermane Stiverne in that initial title victory, now way back in January of 2015, I believe. I have been a bit sceptical about Ortiz, how he has looked recently. He has looked a bit plodding. He has certainly looked older. We don't know how old this guy is. He could be as old as the mid-40s, we're not sure. But in his training, he is looking pretty trim here, and he is looking primed to give Wilder as good a fight as he possibly can. It's a bit of a shame that Ortiz is already a bit long in the tooth, and of course that he has, through his own fault, been caught for performance enhancers or whatever they were. He's done it a couple of times, so there must be some sort of fishy business going on there. And I say it's a shame because in terms of his skill set, he seems to be the most polished and capable, have the best fundamentals of all the heavyweights that are out at the moment. Well-drilled Cuban fighter from the southpaw stance. It's fluid, he picks his shots, good balance, and defensively quite responsible at the same time. He's got that polished look about him, so it's a bit of a shame that he's a bit old, because I think it's age that's obviously going to be the biggest hurdle for him here, rather than just the quality of each opponent to determine the fight. For Ortiz to win, I think he has got to rely on some kind of crunching counterpunch. He does have long arms, which is good. I think he's at least got an 82-inch reach, so he's not going to be completely outreached here. I know Wilder's a lot taller, but King Kong has got long arms. He knows how to use his reach. Very good timing. I just worry about the speed, and he's a little bit plodding here. If he's coming in trimmer like it looks like he is, maybe he's going to have a bit more zip than usual, and because he knows this is his real last chance to make something happen, you'd imagine he's going to have what cylinders there are, firing all of them for this particular fight. So I think his route to victory will be to wait to set traps against Wilder. He is going to be a smarter fighter than Wilder, and he has to try and get the naturally less skillful guy to come reaching in, overreaching, and then from that southpaw stance, looking for the left uppercut, right hook, and try and really just crunch Wilder coming into something like that. That could happen, but I don't expect it to. There was a possibility he was a bit uninspired in his last few performances. I'm talking about Ortiz, but I still have to go off the fact that he did look quite plodding, quite stuck in the mud. He doesn't have the most head movement, and you know Wilder is going to be pretty wary in this fight, and he's going to probably raise his game a little bit like he did for the first Stiverne fight. He's going to keep his distance. He's going to use what reach he has. Sometimes it's awkward, but sometimes fighters who don't look that great and awkward, it actually plays to their advantage because they're hard to read, because they're so scrappy. I think Wilder, with his youth and that extra spring, is probably going to be able to keep Ortiz at the end of that jab. He'll probably be able to rustle about enough in the clinches and push him back, and then get back to that awkward kind of distance he creates and keep things going. And one thing he does throw, as we saw in the Bermane Stiverne rematch, I should say, he does have that nice straight cross right down the pipe. I know that guy was a sitting duck, but again, Ortiz sometimes recently has looked a bit stiff himself and stuck in the mud. So I expect Wilder to find his range. He might have a few scary moments by the naturally more skillful guy getting into some awkward positions, maybe catched him a few times, but I don't think Ortiz manages to crunch him and put him down. I think Wilder establishes the distance, keeps it there, peppers him with that kind of flicky jab, and then starts hitting him, pinging him on the chin with that long right. And if he doesn't somehow manage to survive the full 12, he may do. He may be very tough like Stiverne was in the first fight, but I expect the younger man to land enough of those right hands for Wilder to get him out of there around round number 8, I think.